It is truly my honor and privilege to kick things off this morning. We really have an exciting 2.5 days ahead for our MT 2020 workshop. So without further ado, I'll call Dr. Bruce to give you an official word of welcome.
Good morning and welcome, everyone. Let me take the opportunity to first welcome Dr. Sheila Martins, President-elect of World Stroke, Dr. Violisa Inoa, Coordinating Chair for MT 2020, and who has been working for months now to assist us in putting this workshop together here in Kingston, Jamaica. Our co-chair, Dr. Jillian Gordon-Peru, the representative for MT 2020 from the US to the Caribbean. Ms. Signe Horton, Chief of Staff and Senior Director of Government Services, Medtronic. Let me also introduce some other members of the organizing committee this morning. Sister Helena Thompson, our Head of Nursing and Senior Director of Nursing at the University Hospital of the West Indies. Dr. Sandeep Shah, Head of Radiology, Nuclear and Interventional Medicine at the University of the West Indies. Dr. Swaina Rowe Gardner, I think I glimpsed her earlier, consultant and lecturer at the university who has been trying to keep us going and keeping us together. Dr. Tamika Marsh Downer, consultant neurologist. Dr. Kevin Wade, consultant endovascular surgeon. Doctors, nurses, technicians, visitors from all the islands of the Caribbean and from Central and Latin America. Let me say good morning and welcome to the beautiful island of Jamaica, known for its people, and many of you will say our exploits in sports. I want to ensure that before we leave here this morning, we diversify Jamaica from being a global leader in sprinting to a global leader in stroke care, Dr. Gordon-Peru. And I want to welcome the Society of Vascular and Interventional Neurology for selecting us for being the site for this mechanical thrombectomy workshop. Many times when you practice medicine in many of the countries of the region, as many of you know, you hear about what can happen in medicine and you hear what's happening in the great hospitals of the world. But I believe we're seeing a new era in medicine, Dr. Martins, when you take the standard of care to the smallest countries of the world, no matter where they are and where they are and who they are. I believe the practice of medicine, all of us would agree, is for the best outcome of our patients. And so we want to thank you all for providing us with this opportunity for the people not only of Jamaica, but of the West Indies and the Caribbean region. This meeting has been held in conjunction with the 20th Caribbean Neurosciences Symposium, which was founded at the University of the West Indies. And as I said, it's in its 20th year. But the University of the West Indies started at the University College of the West Indies in 1948. And as our Vice Chancellor likes to remind us, the Mona and Pepin Estate, where you'll visit this afternoon, is a ceremonial home of the university. We now have campuses right across the region in the Bahamas, Barbados, St. Augustine, in Trinidad and Tobago. And we continue to expand into the smaller islands with now the 5 Islands campus in Antigua, and we now have a site in Grenada. And so we too are interested in ensuring that we move medical education to all the corners of the region and to have all the talent that we have in these regions come out and continue to provide the quality of care that's so desperately needed by our patients. So let me, on behalf of the Board of Directors, management and staff of the University Hospital of the West Indies and the University of the West Indies and the Ministry of Health, who will join us later on this evening, welcome you all again to the island of Jamaica and welcome you to Kingston, and we hope we have a very productive week. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Carl Bruce. He's the Chief of Staff at the University of the West Indies and really has been a great collaborator for us with MT2020. I'll tell you, having been born here, raised here, grown up here, when I moved to the US and had my first stroke alert and saw my first stroke patient get better with acute stroke treatment, it was a light bulb moment. It was the moment that says, why is it that we can have this in the US, but 85 miles away, we don't have this care? And so it really has been a mission and a journey. And for me, joining with MT2020 and Dr. Inoa in October of 2020, we've come a really long way. And so why is it that we're so passionate about this, and what is it that we're trying to bring your attention to? The fact is, stroke is a leading cause of death in Jamaica. It is the second leading cause of death worldwide. In 2018, stroke accounted for 13.6% of stroke deaths in Jamaica. When you look at the age-adjusted mortality rate for stroke in Jamaica versus other countries, we are twice as high as the US stroke mortality rate. Jamaica ranks 100th in the world. Now, I know we're competitive and we like to be number one. So this is an area I think that demands our attention and our improvement. There is highly effective treatment available. This is just an example of thrombectomy. So when a stroke is happening, particularly an ischemic type stroke, a blood vessel is blocked, there's not enough blood flow to the brain. This highly effective therapy and safe will go in, remove that clot, and restore function. This graph helps us demonstrate that. So in patients who do not have mechanical thrombectomy, in the dark blue, 27% of them are likely to go home or have good functional outcomes. When we use this very powerful therapy, almost a half of the patients will go home and have a very good outcome. In addition, mechanical thrombectomy has a mortality benefit. This is life-saving therapy. So in patients who do not have mechanical thrombectomy and they're experiencing this type of stroke, a third will die. And that number is lower when we do this effective therapy. The sad reality is that Jamaica and the Caribbean has limited access to this life-saving therapy. And so that's why we're here. And so I'm really thankful for this partnership with the World Stroke Organization, Society for Vascular and Interventional Neurology, really trying to bridge this gap, bridge this disparity. So on your left, the bar graphs are the number of mechanical thrombectomy procedures and operators that are done worldwide. And the smaller bars that you can hardly see, those are the numbers in the Caribbean. So there's a great disparity in the number of procedures that are done because we don't have enough trained operators and centers available. And so this workshop aims at reversing that, aims to train the personnel and get centers up and running so that we can offer this life-saving therapy to Jamaica and the wider Caribbean. I do want to pause and welcome our team from Honduras, who are also joining us for this workshop, and Dr. De Souza from the Cayman Islands, because again, our focus is not just Jamaica, but on the larger Caribbean, enhancing stroke care for all. We will have the similar mechanical thrombectomy hands-on workshop in Dominican Republic later this year for the Spanish-speaking Caribbean. This is groundbreaking. This kind of training and bringing the stroke care to the people who need it the most hasn't been done before. So I'm extremely proud to be a part of this team and really thankful for all your attention and all your hard work for getting here today. Now, while it might be costly to set up these stroke centers, the white paper that we'll talk about in a minute and present later today clearly shows us that this is cost-effective treatment in the number of daily life years saved and the reduction in lost years to disability. It is cost-effective and it is life-saving therapy. So this is a partnership. And we're partnering not just with our international partners, but with our local partners. So I'll pause for a moment and invite a word from the Jamaica Stroke Alliance. So as I said, this is a partnership. So I'd like to invite Dr. Tamika March, who is the University Hospital neurologist, consultant physician, who's leading the stroke team at the university, to say a few words.
Pleasant good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Gordon Peru and the other collaborators for this opportunity to speak to this awesome body today. Why is this collaboration important? The natural history of stroke recovery without any intervention reveals that approximately 40% of patients will have moderate impairment requiring special care after their stroke, and a further 25% will be totally dependent, requiring nursing care. That's why this intervention is necessary. We have a duty to reduce the mortality and morbidity associated with stroke. This collaboration with MT2020 is the first step to making this vision a reality for all Jamaicans, coupled with input from our government and other stakeholders. Our vision is to have clotbuster therapy, thrombolytics, and clot removal procedure, thrombectomy, as part of our management of stroke at UHWI. A retrospective study over the 5-year period done at UHWI reveals 20.6% of our patients had large artery atherosclerosis stroke subtype, which is indeed significant, hence the need for thrombectomy. It is an honor and a privilege to be a part of this revolutionary thrust towards advanced stroke care in Jamaica. Our hospital has taken its first step in trying to achieve certification as an advanced stroke center, and indeed appreciate this collaboration. Thank you so very much.
Okay, I think we have our Zoom participants able to share. Dr. Morgan Channel.
Hi, good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to be a part of this groundbreaking experience with the MT20 team and SBIN team. We at Jamaica Stroke Alliance are part of the affiliation of the World Stroke Organization, and our focus is spreading stroke prevention, education, and also fostering good quality care for stroke providers and their caregivers, providing support for them after a stroke. And part of that is stroke education. So we are very, very, very happy to be a part of this initiative, and also to go forward to continue fostering the beginnings of this workshop going forward into stroke quality care here in Jamaica. And it would be, I could not share in this experience in not just letting highlight part of good stroke care is early recognition of stroke, because time is brain. Every minute after a stroke, we lose 1.9 million brain cells. And so it's critical to get to the Jamaican population. We may not have a national ambulance system, but once we recognize early a stroke, we need to get to urgent emergency care. And how you spot a stroke? We like to say at Jamaica Stroke Alliance, be fast. And so be fast is an acronym that we want to spread to the Jamaican population. It says balance for B. Is the person suddenly off balance, unable to walk? E, is there sudden loss of vision or double vision? F, for face. Is there a person has a crooked smile? Ask the patient to smile. Is there drooping of the face? A, for arms, meaning ask the patient to raise their arms. Is the one arm dropping to one side? S is for speech. Is there slurred speech, as demonstrated a while ago? And then T, get to hospital, get to an emergency room, emerge quickly, emergently, for time is brain. And so that's the acronym that we want to pass on to the Jamaican population to feed in early recognition and therefore quicker access to good stroke care. Thank you so much for having us a part of your conference.
Thank you, Dr. Morgan Chana. You've said it really well. Be fast. Time is brain. And so I'll invite first my fearless leader, Dr. Vializa Noah, to come first to talk a little bit about the white paper, open the conference, and then we'll have her introduce Dr. Martin.
Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here. I'm absolutely thrilled that this is actually happening. So as others said before me, stroke remains a devastating disease with significant economical and social burden across the world. And we know our Caribbean region is especially affected, and that's why we are here today. So stroke is treatable with medications called thrombolytics and a procedure called mechanical thrombectomy, which is stroke surgery, where doctors can get the clots out of the brain, the clots from the arteries that are blocked. So the Mission Thrombectomy Campaign is a global nonprofit campaign under the umbrella of the Society of Vascular and Interventional Neurology. And the purpose of the campaign is to rapidly accelerate treatments for stroke with a main focus in mechanical thrombectomy. So I would like to present today this document. This is the white paper. And the document is named Building Thrombectomy Systems of Care in Your Region, Why and How. This paper has been prepared by the Mission Thrombectomy Campaign and the SVIN Society. And the document explains what stroke is and the importance of implementation of stroke treatments and development of systems of care for stroke treatments. The document is directed to health policymakers around the world. It has been translated to several languages already, and we will hand this document to the health minister this evening at the Devon House. I would also like to officially open the first mechanical thrombectomy workshop in the region. Thanks. I'm excited too. And this could not be possible without the great effort of so many people. And I would like to thank Dr. Sheila Martins for being here, President-elect of the World Stroke Organization. After so many flights, she got here last night. And our faculty that will be here talking, interacting, teaching our staff, our doctors, nurses, techs, so these procedures can be performed in the region. Our faculty traveled from the US for the most part during these challenging COVID times. And I would like to thank Dr. Justin Fraser, Dr. Gary Spiegel, Dr. Medea Hepburn, Nicole Cancellieri, Mindy Unger, and Lauren Goff for being here today. Of course, a special thanks to the University of West Indies and Dr. Carl Bruce and his team. Amazing. Thank you for welcoming us. And to the Caribbean leadership, my ladies, Drs. Tan, Gillian Peru, and Jennifer Potter, without you and your organization and your skills, we could not be here today. We'd like to thank Signe Houghton and the Medtronic team for believing in this idea and sponsoring the workshop. And without any further ado, I would like to welcome all of you, and I formally open this workshop.
Thank you, Dr. No. It's really a pleasure and a privilege to work alongside with you to get this done. So Dr. Sheila Martins is the president-elect of the World Stroke Organization. We are so honored to have her here. Her track record in Brazil and around the world is unparalleled. Really when I read her papers and see the work she's done, I'm in awe of how she took her country, a much larger country, with no stroke care. And now they're the leaders of stroke care in Latin America and the Caribbean. Sorry. So it really is an honor to have her here. And so I now invite her to come give us a few words.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be here today. Thank you for the invitation. I'm happy to participate in this initiative here because it's very important. As you know, stroke is the second leading cause of death in the world and one of the main causes of disability. We have 13 million of strokes per year in the world and 6.5 million of deaths. 85% of these deaths in low and middle income countries. For years, the only action to decrease stroke burden was to implement prevention that you need to implement, to identify, treat and control hypertension, dyslipidemia, diabetes, atrial fibrillation, and the lifestyle risk factors, obesity, sedentarism, unhealthy diet, alcohol and tobacco is very important. And we can decrease 9% of strokes. We can decrease the number of strokes, but it's not enough to decrease the burden. The strokes are arriving in our hospitals and it's not fair to treat those patients. We have treatment since 1995 when thrombolysis was approved. We have treatment, and since then, the stroke centers start the organization in the world to give the best treatment with a multidisciplinary team to quickly identify and treat those patients and start early rehabilitation. And since 2015, we have the mechanical thrombectomy for more severe strokes, decreasing mortality and disability. And it's possible to implement, we prove that it's possible to implement in low and middle resort settings. So because of this, we are here, we are very happy with the initiative here, and please, we need to give more chance to life to all patients. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sheila Martins. I'm so excited that we're going to hear more about her initiative in low to middle income countries in our dinner tonight, welcome dinner tonight at Devon House. Thank you so very much. Really want to thank everyone who's been a part of this mission. It has really been a journey to get here this far. I want to thank our attendees who flew from different countries to get here. Really, you're part of a groundbreaking experience and really pioneers in this field. Really thank you to our faculty and our staff for being here. I want to thank our tireless support and administrative staff, Jamisha and Laurel, who are somewhere here. Really thank everybody for their participation. I want to thank the media for being here. You've given us a voice and a stage and a platform to which we can speak and broadcast our message and get the word out that stroke care is important to all. So with that, we'll conclude the press conference. We'll do the formal handover of the white paper tonight at Devon House. We look forward to seeing you then. We will do some additional media interaction, and then we get to the fun part of the stroke care and thrombectomy. Thank you, guys. One bit of housekeeping before people take a coffee break is for those of us who need COVID-19 testing. It is on the second floor, room 136. 38, 36? 136 downstairs. I doubted myself for 2 seconds. 136 downstairs. So we'll take a short coffee break. Thank you to everyone who joined us on Zoom. We'll see you in a minute.